Hello, my name's Norm Tyler. I'm an architect and a planner and a professor at Eastern Michigan University. One can hardly walk around downtown Ann Arbor without seeing them, images of the city's past, sandwiched in glass and located throughout the downtown. The first of its kind in the nation, the Downtown Ann Arbor Historic Street Exhibit Program brings the past to life with exhibits at 16 different sites like this one, celebrating the downtown's history and its historic architecture. The project's unique design features a series of large transparent frames. Past and present are juxtaposed as the viewer stands on the sidewalk and looks through the frame and sees an image of a building that's no longer there against the building that is there currently. The glass blade allows this transparency to happen and allows people to interact with their history. We refer to this as guerrilla history because it takes history out of the library and out of the books and brings it out on the sidewalk for people to see. The project was designed by 22 design professionals, architects, planners, landscape architects, and graphic designers who got together for a one-day intense charrette. They were split up into small teams and asked to come up with a concept for how to put these exhibits on the sidewalks, and came up basically with the idea of the glass blade. A volunteer architect and a graphic designer then volunteered to continue to develop the project into its final form. This is the project that we see, along with porcelain enamel panels at most of the sites, and also bronze artifacts that represent certain aspects. For instance, a bronze mailbox where the old post office used to be, or a bronze banner announcing the assassination of Lincoln, that are also part of the exhibits. The glass blade was a difficult thing to imagine to put on the sidewalk because of the problem of vandalism, potential vandalism, but it's designed like an automobile windshield in that it has a plastic image layer that's sandwiched between two layers of tempered glass. The exhibits are at key locations throughout the downtown and focus on a historic theme that's appropriate to that site. For instance, here we are at the county courthouse, and we talk about the history of the courthouse, the original courthouse, which was a town square that was replaced by this more contemporary courthouse that was built surrounding the original Victorian courthouse. Other themes celebrate the downtown's ethnic diversity as it goes into some of the neighborhoods, or especially the interaction of town and gown, with exhibits located over at the University of Michigan to talk about the interaction of the city and the university. The program was adopted and supported by the city's Downtown Development Authority and the Historic District Commission. Other funding came from the Michigan Council on Humanities and all 4 downtown merchant groups who are benefiting from the street exhibit program. Gifts for this about $1 million project range from $10 to $50,000, and they've come from over 500 contributors, some of them larger corporate donors, but many hundreds of individuals who have donated to the project too, representing a broad cross-section of the community. And because of this broad support, there's really a strong sense of community ownership and pride in the project. The program includes numerous associated projects with it. There's a downtown historic walking tour with a brochure, so visitors can go from site to site and read all of them in some kind of order. Although the intent also is to have it for local residents who may not know Ann Arbor's history that well, but who keep bumping into it every day and eventually stop and read some of the signs. There's also a website that's sponsored by the Ann Arbor District Library that is part of a much larger website that includes a lot of local history. And a 16-page newspaper supplement is given to local schools, especially 3rd grade classes, who have a segment in Ann Arbor's local history, and teachers are encouraged to bring their students and walk the tour with their students. There's also a professionally produced videotape that is made available to students or other organizations and also other communities, because one of the design aspects of this project is that it could be easily replicated in other communities who also want to represent their history on the sidewalk. In fact, Bay City, Michigan has put up 2 or 3 exhibits already that were built off of this particular design. Installation of the exhibits has received overwhelming community acclaim. The street exhibit program received a special award from the Michigan Historic Preservation Network, and we're very proud of the fact that this is a community-based project. The Ann Arbor Historical Street Exhibit Program brings local history right out onto the sidewalk. In addition to the glass blades, most sites also have porcelain panels which provide supplementary historic material that are attached to buildings, and these have bars on them to give a little bit of protection to them, and will last many, many years. At various locations around the downtown, we also have what we call artifacts, which are bronze representations of historic features. This one mourning the death of the late President Lincoln, representing a sheet from the local newspaper at the time. The project's unique design feature is a series of large transparent frames. Past and present are juxtaposed as the viewer stands on the sidewalk, looking through a historic image at the glass blade of what was there before and what's there now, the new courthouse. The images, the glass blades, are made to be as much as possible vandal-proof. They're made like an automobile windshield with a layer of plastic with the image on it and layers of tempered glass on either side of it, making it so it won't break, it'll just shatter if something happens to it. The exhibits are at key locations around the downtown and focus on a historic theme appropriate for the site. The theme, of course, of this one is the history of the courthouse square as a city and county's historic center. Other themes represent other things such as ethnic diversity, the interaction of town and gown with the university. As we look at the frame, though, we can follow down through and we can see how the pictures change with the text here. And if we go down further, we can see the sponsor for the project. And also, interestingly, a representation of footprints that tell you where to stand to get the right kind of image overlay through the transparency.